Hi, my name is Harald Huyssen, and I'm coming to you from True Sound Recording Studio in Antipolo, Philippines. And we're working on a series of educational videos in partnership with JB Music Philippines and Zildjian. What I'd like to talk to you about today is the double stroke roll. As I've traveled through the Philippines, I've noticed that drummers tend to shy away from playing the double stroke roll, and this is something that can help your playing a lot if you understand how to use it and how to develop it. To lay some groundwork for developing your double stroke roll, it's important to grip the stick correctly, and as a general rule, that would be about 1/3 up the stick you'll grip, and you'll leave a gap and wrap your fingers around the stick. And this place where you're gripping is called the fulcrum. And the fulcrum is basically a pivot point that is going to get the stick, if you're holding it correctly, to do the most work for you, so your double strokes become effortless. So just for exaggerating the effects of gripping in the wrong place, if we went up the stick and were to try to play, you'll notice that the stick does not want to return to the head. If you grip too far back, it's like the stick wants to stay in the head. So there'll be a sweet spot, generally somewhere about 1/3 up the stick, where the stick is doing the most work for you, and that's what you're looking for, that point. Once you've found that point with both hands, then play a stroke and allow it to bounce once and stop the motion. That would sound like this. And that's your double stroke roll. That's the beginning of your double stroke roll. And for my personal taste, I much rather use the double stroke roll utilizing a bounce. I've seen people who play it also using 2 single motions, and it would sound like this. Versus this. So for my personal taste, the double stroke utilizing the bounce sounds just a little bit warmer, a little bit more legato, a little bit more open, and I prefer that sound. The easiest way to develop your double stroke that I find is to come at it from the single stroke roll, and then you just, using the motion of the single stroke roll, you start to apply your double stroke. And so what I'll do is I'll play 4 16th notes going to 4 doubles, and it would sound like this. And this is an exercise that you can develop and work on as well. You can try to make up your own versions of this by playing 2 beats of 16th notes and 2 beats of double strokes, and that would sound like this. Here's the time. Here will be the beat. Or 4 beats sound like this. Or anything more than that or less than that, or whatever exercises you come up with that you think will help you. For isolating problems within the double stroke roll, or just getting better at bouncing certain parts of the double stroke roll, I'd like to share with you an exercise. And what we'll do is we'll bounce the first partial of the 16th note, the second, the third, and the fourth. So the first one would sound like this. The second one would sound like this. The third one, and the fourth one. Then you can combine it, once you feel comfortable with all of them, into an exercise where you're moving through them, so it'll be one measure of each. It would sound like this. Now, once you've gotten to this point, and maybe even before that, you're ready to try to get it into your playing. So, how to apply this into your drumming? It's easy to substitute in the double stroke roll for various partials in your grooves that you're already ghosting. And so a pattern with ghost notes would sound like this. And this is just a very basic pattern. And what I'll do now is, with that basic pattern, I'll apply doubling the last ghost note. And the ghost notes are the quiet notes between, on the snare, between 2 and 4. It would sound like this. You can also apply it to 16th note based grooves, and a 16th note based groove would be this, or hand to hand on the hi-hat anyway. And basically I have a single stroke motion happening on the hi-hat, so it's easy for me to just embellish different doubles within that, and basically I'm just going to make up things as I go along. And so using the motion, the single stroke motion, I'll double certain partials, and I'm just making it up as I go along in a 16th note based groove. And here's what that would sound like. Now that would probably be too much for some styles of music, and so you can just do it for one beat or two beats at certain parts of the song where you can push the groove or the music tastefully. But have fun trying to improvise your own double patterns off of 16th note grooves or things that you're working on, any grooves that you already know and that you're comfortable with. Another great place to apply the double stroke roll is in fill-ins that you already know. Take fill-ins that you're comfortable with and try to modify them using the double stroke roll. Just to give you two ideas for this then is, we'll take this as our primary fill-in today. And what we'll try to do then is to double the non-accented notes, and then after that we'll double the accented notes. So doubling the non-accented notes would sound like this. Putting it into the groove would sound like this. Doubling the accented notes would sound like this. Putting it into the groove. Here we go. So hopefully this gives you some ideas how to develop your double stroke roll and how to apply your double stroke roll. Enjoy the process of applying the doubles to your drumming. See you for the next video.